Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we are playing with a mono black MENACE deck. It's MENACE tribal. We are menacing our way, and we're going to teach people that they can't overlook how awesome MENACE is. If you're interested, stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host. This episode will be performed entirely by sock puppets. Dr. Yukon SuckIt. Yes, thank you. Film before live studio audience. Thank you so much. Yukon SuckIt. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck of my own creation called, well, it's MENACE. This should be called probably MENACE V2. MENACE Mark II. All right. Why is that? Because I had a MENACE deck I played a while ago. I don't know what it was. Month and a half ago, something like that. And I said, this deck is good, but it demands to be revisited. Finally, I'm revisiting it. Finally, I'm coming back to it. And this time, it used to be Rakdos, and now it is down to pure mono black. And so, you know what? I mean, there's no reason. It's just that I was more interested in seeing what I could do with mono black. I think Rakdos definitely has some good MENACE capabilities into it. Maybe we'll swing back the direction with Mark III. But anyways, I said Mark I. Sorry. Mark II. All right, there we go. So, anyways, we got all mono black MENACE right here. And what's the point of MENACE? It's that it takes 2 or more dudes to be able to block any one particular dude. That's what it is. And so the more we get out, the harder it is for them to block people. And so what are we going to do? We're going to use a bunch of creature kill to kill off their creatures as much as we can to make it harder and harder to block our guys. And so as long as we can keep a constant stream of dudes coming out and we can kill off the dudes they're putting out, then we can win. At least that's the theory. So what are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and take a look at the cards in this deck super quick. Then we're going to go out and crush some hopes and dreams. All right, what do we got? We got Okiba, Reckoner Raider, who vampires life 1 per turn for 2 turns and then puts out a 2/2 with MENACE. Helps out vehicles, of which we got none. All right, Arya's Oathsworn. Every time that she does combat damage to a player, if it has fewer than 4 Popo counters on it, you put a Popo counter on it. After it has 4 Popo counters and it does damage to a player, you get a tutor. You get a tutor for whatever you want. This goes out with, it's a MENACE 3/1, and if you equipped it on something, that thing becomes has a base power and toughness of 4/4, has MENACE, and is a black demon, and so who cares? We don't care about demons. We don't care about MENACE since everything else has demons. But if we can make something into a 5/5 potentially, and then on whatever else it has going on. I don't care. We potentially could use that way. I'm good with him just being a 3/3/1 menacer, really. Go for the throat. Creature kill. Creature and planeswalker kill. Graveyard Trespasser rips apart graveyards. Shakedown Heavy has MENACE, is a 6/4, is incredibly cheap, but you're not really going to be dealing any damage with this guy because they can choose to unattack it when he attacks, at which point then you untap him and you draw a card instead. So what he really is a really good defender, and he'll get you some cards, some card draw. Worst case scenario, but if the guy says, yeah, come on through, he does 6 points of damage, and he can really defend for 6 points of damage. That's awesome. Bloodline Culling. I saw somebody play against me the other day with this card. I'm surprised we don't see this played more often. For 3, you get -5/-5 for a creature, or you can do -2/-2 to creature tokens. So you can wipe creature tokens off the board. That is pretty cool. Just tons of them. Soul Transfer allows you to exile target creature or planeswalker, or bring a creature or planeswalker back from your graveyard to your hand. If you happen to have an enchantment and an artifact, you can do both those things. And we do have enchantments, and we do have artifacts, so there's a possibility. Painful Quandary. I love this card. It's just that it always seems to be very expensive. When an opponent casts a spell, They lose 5 life unless they discard a card. So it just makes things so hard for them to work with. Unfortunately, a lot of times you get it out, and they got plenty of creatures out. They don't need to cast spells, whatever the deal is. But I love how crippling it is. It's like Thalia on steroids. It is so incredible. Phyrexian Fleshgorger gets you lifelink and menace, and potentially could be a 7/5, but most likely is going to be a 3/3. No big deal. No big whoop, right? But a lifelinky 3/3 with menace, well within what this deck's trying to do. Virtue of Persistence, -3, -3 till the end of the turn to a target creature. So it's creature kill. You gain life. And then if you get up to 7 mana and cast it, you'll be pulling creatures out of graveyards every turn, putting into play under your control. Anybody's, even their own, even other people's graveyards. So it's fantastic. This is also Graveyard Recursion, bringing back something from the graveyard back to your hand. And then you can play it again. So we got a lot of that going on. And 22 swamps, just because we love swamps. All right, so that's the deck. What are we going to do with it? We're going to get our dudes out and attack. And if they try to put out 2 creatures, we will kill the second creature. They try to put out a lot of little tokens. We're going to blow away all those tokens. We're going to try to make it hard for them to play things. We're going to gain life. We're going to rip apart their graveyard. We're going to pull their own dudes back from their graveyard back to our battlefield. All the time, we're going to be attacking with menacey dudes. Can they defend against it? We shall find out. Before we go out and do that, though, let's say our prayers and talk about what's best in life. Dear Black King Toxrill, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear the lamentation of the women. All right, playing against Lupe. I'm going to do some Raiders. All right, good. It's a little on the slow side. That's one thing I'm not a big fan of. Let's get that tree Wyatt. All right, I put out another Raider. We'll let this teething wormlet pretend like he's going to get big, but I can kill him at any time. That's an artifact. Go for the throat, can't take it out. I'm going to Shakedown Heavy. So it's nice having a nice big defender there. Yeah, see, this is where these cards just freaking kill me. Alright, so number 1, we're going to go ahead and kill that guy. Let's do something tricksy. It's a sorcery. Okay, I can't be too tricksy. Alright, all in. Ooh, token guys can be wiped out with Bloodline Culling. That's why I like that card. Look at that. I mean, it's -5. And then it does -2 to all creature tokens. Unfortunately, those are not creature tokens. All right, let's send in what we got. It'd be nice to draw something awesome, just like that. Perfect. All right, 14. We got rid of those artifact dudes. That is fantastic. All right, we're at 24. I could take 7. I really don't care. You bringing that guy back? All right, that guy's dead. We're left with 2, all in for the attack. If he tries to block, then his guys all die. All right, and we win. Super victory extreme. All right, we're playing against drtheiss. drtheiss, he's his band. He'll write you a paper on China or Japan. All right, we go. We got 2 mana and nothing to do with it. Pick up a 3rd. We're a long way towards doing things. All right, man. Yeah, come on. Yeah, I swear to God, this had better not be another mono blue deck. Death. Shakedown Heavy. Alright, we're slipping past his defenses. He made some sort of weird mono blue mistake where he actually played a card. Alright, you gotta let me attack now. Come on. You gonna bounce it back? Let's put it back out. I mean, this guy's playing kind of dumb, and he's losing. He's taking out all of his cards. What I really like to do, we got a counterspell. Super. As you can see, is get another mana. Alright, so you can't counter that because I have 2 mana available. But to be able to play all these other cards which cost 3, I need another mana. That costs ward 2. I can do it. Bom, 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 bom. Painful Quandary would be great against his deck. Got another one. All right, perfect. He's just got a counterspell. He needs 2 cards for that. Yep. And another. Alright, so we have the ability to kill 5/5s. That's no problem. Let's do it again. I could give him the opportunity of something to try to counterspell just to get that out of his hand. Yeah. There you go. Counter it. There we go. Now you can slip a Painful Quandary out. Yes! Alright, your choices. Do you want me to leave the front door open, or are you going to let me draw cards? You're going to make me draw cards. And he's gone. Alright. And in we go. And we win. Man, I can't believe we took apart a mono blue. I just don't think this guy knew how to play it. That was the problem. Alright, playing against. Is this lMKlBlast? Is this just MKlBlast? And those L's are some sort of separators? Looks like he's been playing his cards too hard. Without sleeves on. What a joker. Alright, we got a guy out. What are we getting up to? 5? The question is, should I save my go for the throat? No, that's somebody I should be killing. Alright, we're fine. That's somebody who deserves to be killed. Oh, we got a nice card to kill with, too. Gain some life. And in for 2. Alright, so what's the question here? Random, what is he going to do with this? Put out an elemental? But that's just... Just put out another one. Let's take that down. Paradise City. And we'll see whose throat we can go after. That's somebody whose throat we can go after. You don't have anything to protect it with. There you go. You got 2. You got 2. 2 lands, baby. Alright, so there's 5. Let's go for the attacks first. All right, you're tapped out. You don't have any. You only have one guy that can defend. Here comes some lifelink. There comes another dude. Alright. Maybe I've overcommitted, but this guy's playing. See that one single red there means that potentially he could have. He'd need 2 red to be able to do burn down the house. Oh, he's got 2 red. Tali's not good. Tali's really not good. Have we really made it to that point of the game already where you can actually do that? What I hate is when they get a Phyrexian Fleshgorger from us. Oh, that's rough. Alright, Bloodline Culling means I could take somebody out. He'll have to protect against it. Let's just go in. He can only block one of my guys, but then we could pick who we want to kill. What does this guy do again? Gain 4 life. Tali is not great either. Alright, this is dealer's choice here. He's got mana wise. Not enough. He's good. Okay, so we'll take out Flojo there. And we're going to have to pay a lot for this. Alright, cool. So he's at 8. He can only block one of my guys. And only if he doesn't attack. Otherwise, I win. Alright, he can attack with one of his guys now. Let's take one of his big boys out. That sounds like a good time. Non-token creature! I'll lose 5 life for that. My own Painful Quandary. Alright, so we'll lose the 4/4 in the deal. We're going to do 6 points of damage to him. And we're going to take out a bear. Bear. Now, if you can't put a creature out, then you can't block any more of my guys. No matter what, he's got to put out like 3 creatures this turn or he loses. One point's not going to do it. And we win. In your face, Charlie Brown! In your face! Alright, playing against Luenu. Luenu, possibly. Keep. What are we doing here? Oathsworn. Value persistence. Alright, that's cool. If he starts shooting me, there's pretty much nothing I can do about it. But we'll try. We'll try. I mean, I could definitely kill off some of his guys and gain a little bit of life. Yes, this is what always happens. I put out a guy, he kills it. I put out a guy, he kills it. Shakedown Heavy. You think, oh, it's got a big old 4 butt. Red's packing 4s nowadays. Down to 12. Alright, so 3 is not going to get us much. Think about the Blade of the Oni. I mean, I'm at 12. I still got a little bit of time. I should have attacked first. Ooh, he let it happen. I like to pick up one more mana because then I can pin these guys down. At least get rid of 2 of them at the time. That's 3. And that's a lot more. Okay, we're down to 5 mana, or 5 life. Alright, well, we didn't get anything, so we're just going to go ahead and grab a little bit of life out of the deal. Can't block flyers, so all in. I get a lot. If he untaps this and gives me a land, there we go. Really nice. I got 4 mana, which means I can get rid of that guy. I can get rid of this guy. And we're going for the attack. It tells me we're going to get a card. All right, we got a nice defender. I think he's going to fold here is what I think he's going to do. All right, so what are we doing at this point? I could bring somebody back. I need another life as well, or need another mana is what I need. Let's just bring him. Let's bring somebody back from the graveyard. Yeah, you're cool. Let's get some life going. All right, getting so close. That's not going to help you, man. Takes a while to grow. I mean, I understand you put it out, so good for you. Nice win. And we win! Good game! Honorable player. Good game. Alright, playing against premiums. A lot of things we could do for 2. Push the velvet rope around. Wish we could tip it over. If you do that 100 times, it'll tip over. Simic. I suggest you put down another land. That would be the best thing for you to do. Alright, cool. I was worried that he might try to counter something, and that would be bad. That'd be bad, okay? Shakedown Heavy. Well, she likes the taste of your blood. She's a tutor. I never recognized that before. Alright, we don't have to worry about that guy for a little while. He's trying to ramp on us is what he's trying to do. Alright, let's go. Draw a card, I would imagine. Alright, I'm going to throw these guys out. Just so we can get some fight and strength. I expect his next card is going to have something to do with ramping. There we go. He's up to 6. And we win. And we win. Victory! All right, so here it is with the Menace deck. This case, it is mono black. And, you know, the trick to this deck was trying to find the right balance of creatures to creature kill. And then we just kind of went all over the board on creature kill with lots of different options for lots of different situations. And I found that to be really, really good. And if there's the one card that probably shouldn't be in here is Painful Quandary. I love Painful Quandary. I love it, but it is too expensive, and people can just sort of dodge around it, is the way that it kind of goes. It should probably be replaced with Sheoldred. Sheoldred would probably be way better in here. It's cheaper, and the effects are consistent, and sure, they can take it out easier because it's a creature, but in this deck, everything's a creature. It's not that big of a deal. Painful Quandary. I always feel like I have a hard time getting up to 5 mana with this deck. Yeah, that's it. But the thing is, I love Painful Quandary. I love everything it does. It's just a card that I really like. I just feel like if it was just only 4 mana, we could actually play it more often. All right, so who's the MVP, the most valuable player of this deck? You know, Shakedown Heavy does really, really good. But the one I think I'm the most enamored by is probably Ayara's Oathsworn. I've seen people have been playing it a bunch. Look at that tricorn it's got there on the front, right? I've seen people play it a bunch, and I just assumed that its abilities were what you see, which is that whenever it deals damage to a player, it gets a +1/+1 counter on it, and it grows. And I saw that it gets up to 4, so therefore it could become like a 6/6 or something like that. And then, you know, something else happens. I thought it was like you draw a card. I thought that's what it was. But it says that if you have exactly 4 +1/+1 counters on it, you search your library for a card, put it in your hand and shuffle. So it is a tutor is what it is. It is a stinky tutor. That is really good. And for 2, I mean, you got a long way to go. You know, it's a grower and not a shower. The other MVP, Okiba Reckoner Raider. This guy is so incredible in this deck because, I mean, even just by himself, right? Because he comes out, what does he do? Takes a life, gives a life. He's a little vampire. And it does that twice, which pulls your opponent down by 2, gives you up by 1. He's a little mini Sheoldred right there, right? And then when you're done, you got a 2/2 with Menace, which is what this deck is made up with. I'm paying 3 for 2/2s with Menace is what I'm paying. For like Okiba's, for Ayara's Oathsworn. You know, basically there's a 3/1, which bounces out as a 2/2. You know, I had another one in there the other night that doesn't allow them to have life gain. That sounds great, but I just found that this was the better combination. So anyways, Okiba's Reckoner Raider is also really, really good. So, who is my MVP? Who is my MVP? It's probably got to be Shakedown Heavy. I'm sorry. The reason why it's that constant card draw. This one usually dies before we get to the point where we can start tutoring. I like the growth. But the card draw right off the bat, even if you're not doing anything, you know, you try to attack, they untap it, you draw a card, still you got a defender. You got a defender. So it's a card draw and an awesome defender. This is the MVP of the deck. If you notice that there's one guy that doesn't do Menace, and that's Graveyard Trespasser, is because I wanted to be able to rip apart graveyards. If I can find a Menacey guy that ripped apart graveyards, I'd put him in here because you kind of need to go after graveyards nowadays. You know, people get stuff in the graveyard. They always try to pull it back with stuff. Nope. This is the guy that's going to help out that. A lot of people, you know, they feel like the meta's fill one thing. To me, it's graveyard recursion. I always feel like we need to have that in pretty much every deck. Unless you just don't care and you're going for someone's throat. This deck's close to being a throat goer. But it is a little on the slow side, so we kind of get into control territory a bunch. All right, so is this deck competitive? Let's take a look at our thing. I have a 75% win rate on 8 games. Yep, 75%. So anyways, yeah, it seems fairly competitive. Yeah, who did it not do well against? Domain. You know, once they get up to like 7 mana and they're just throwing out Atraxias and they're pulling dudes from your own, from your own library and playing them against you, it's not what you can do. Because the problem is I can take out individuals, I can take out tokens, but I have a hard time against really big guys, multiples all at the same time. And so, yeah, when Domain starts throwing out big dudes, you got to expand the multiverse or explore whatever the black one is that does multiverse one or a Tali. yeah, those guys are all way too big, and there's too many of them for me to take out at one time. And so it's really hard. And so that's where I have a problem with is that. So as long as you can take people out before they get up to that level, you're doing pretty good. Still, this deck is not great at the beginning of the thing. It's good enough that I can take out mono red half the time. The problem with mono red, I'm sorry this is going so long, is that if they have the kind of mono red deck, if they just happen to get lucky, where they put a dude out and then they have like the ability to lightning strike, you put a guy out, it gets killed, they attack. You put another dude out, it gets killed, they attack. Then, you just keep putting guys out because you're not able to put out more than one guy per turn. You got a lot of guys. You got guys with big old butts. But the problem is that mono red packs creature kill that can kill those guys. That's another reason why potentially Sheoldred, the Apocalypse, is probably the better thing. It's got a 5 for a butt. That's really rough to get over if you're going against mono red. So yeah. The other guy would be the Obliterator. He would just, the Obliterator's okay. He doesn't do anything for you. He just really messes up your opponent, depending upon what they're capable of doing. There's a lot of decks that could just take out the Obliterator. It's not that big. Mono white could take him out. Black could take him out. But green and red really have a problem. Blue doesn't really know what to do about him. Maybe bounce him or something. So, yeah, Obliterator could be cool. I still think that Sheoldred with the guaranteed vampirism is probably the better choice. All right, so yes, this is a competitive deck at 75%. Was this deck fun? Yeah, it totally was. The reason why is because Okiba does a good job in the first couple rounds. You get yourself out a couple of guys here in the second round. You're coming in. They cannot block you. As long as you can use your guys to pull off their second guys, so they only have one guy left in play, you're swinging in every turn, and there's nothing they can do about it. They're going down fast. You don't have any direct damage. That's kind of a problem. Corrupt might be really good in this deck. Is that what it is? Where you go ahead and you suck life equal to the amount that you put, of lands you have or something like that. That would probably be good because I sometimes have a hard time getting past the creatures when they got too many of them. But anyways, yeah, it's a fun deck. It's a good fighter. It's long-term games that go too long. Those are the ones you got a problem with. I'm not so worried about beginning and mid-level games. It's, past turn 7, that's where things start getting a little dicey. But as long as you get like a Painful Quandary out, that just messes them over big time. So, yeah, we got the ability to kind of handle in-game. As long as we can keep their creatures pinned down, we have a good strategy going forward. Is this deck interesting? Okay, I'm going to say yes. Reason why? Because it is a MENACE tribal deck, and I love tribals. And that's what interesting used to be. Is this deck a tribal? Does it have a theme? This thing is a MENACE tribal deck, and so absolutely, it is interesting in my book because of that. And it's funny part is MENACE has been around since the beginning of Magic cards, and it's just become something you just sort of take for granted. It's like, oh, whoop-de-doo, I'll just block them with 2 guys rather than 1. The big problem is you've got 2 or 3 guys out with MENACE, then it takes like 6 guys to block your guys. It's like it becomes a really weird situation where they can't do anything. It's a block, more like, sure, you could block 1 guy pretty easily, but blocking 3 or 4 or 5, that is really hard. Really hard to do. And when you really focused it with a MENACE tribal deck, it really punishes people for overlooking MENACE or being the awesome mechanic that it really is. All right, so let's add this up. Is it competitive? Check. Is it fun? Yep. Is it interesting? Absolutely. Okay. This is a Dr. SuckIt original, so I don't like to give it A+, but I'm going to say this is an A+ deck. I think it is an incredibly good deck, and I think it's worth playing. So, as I'm required by federal law to say, this deck is so choice. I would highly recommend you pick one up, should you have the means. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, screw you guys, I'm going home. Bye.